nice top deal.
Yeah, bit old school, eh? It's what year is it?
I get a bit of PTSD when I look at that jersey, bro. Sean Johnson actually got fucked over. Eh?
Yeah, true that. Yeah, it was that was a good game too, bro. That was a good game.
We were looking strong leading up to the playoffs and everything, and then Sean Johnson gets injured, and we lost every single game after that jersey.
Yeah, and it was an ugly injury. Eh? It was like he scores the try, but he stays down, and then it's like, oh no, he's fucked.
Oh no, he's fucked. Yeah, we were screwed after that.
Yeah, bro. But it's the 2015 Heritage jersey, and it's got the players' names on the back, and it's just like,
it's a nice jersey.
It's a beautiful jersey.
Yeah, they do have some nice old jerseys, although I like the real old ones. So those 2001s aren't too bad.
Yep.
Kia ora te whānau numa hoki mai. Tonight we're going to go through some player ratings for this year. Season's over and everything, but we're going to go around and do our spine, our forwards, our outside backs, and our bench. And then, but before we get into that, I actually want to have a bit of a kōrero about this team that got announced today. All right, so pretty stacked full of Warriors. We've got Rockaberry, Kalani Going, Jacob Laban, Laban Laban, Ali Leatawa, Paul Roach, Tain Tuopiki. So we've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Warriors in the Kiwis A squad versus Tonga A. I mean, when this squad came out, I was like, oh, it's pretty gassed to see these boys run out there. What your guys' thoughts when you guys saw the team?
Happy as. But I've never, like you said there, I've never known there to be a Kiwis A team. Hey.
Yeah.
Before we've got our first graders, our Kiwis, and then we've had a Kiwis A team play.
I was gonna say if there's peeps watching, if they want to chuck in the comments and stuff, but because my understanding has always been it was like the junior Kiwis, and the junior Kiwis are the feeder team to the Kiwis. So that New Zealand Kiwis A team is like, okay, but a main lineup, despite the name change, wherever the name change came from, it's a main lineup. Yeah, bit of a rebrand.
Bit of a rebrand. William Warbrick from Storm.
Nice. And he's really deserving too, I reckon. I think he's into the first grade Kiwis, to be honest.
I wouldn't be surprised if a few of those players, because if there's players who get injured throughout the Pacific Championship comp, players get injured, they'll slot straight in. Can
they bring them up if they get injured?
Oh, well, they're like a. Well, I'm assuming they're the old junior Kiwis team, so they're the wider squad. They might narrow it down to 6 or 8 players, but it might even be less than that. But what's that, bro?
Sorry, what was the question again from you, Damien?
If the Kiwis, if players did get injured, can they bring them up through the Kiwi A team, whatever name it is? Sorry, just unsure.
So there was written in the New Zealand Rugby League account in their comments. They said they can. So they're training as one squad, and the A team can fill in positions if there's injuries.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good cover. Yeah,
but it's good to know that we got this.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Be interesting to see who they choose as captain too. There's some good young players in there.
A lot of good young players.
Actually, I want to say it again. The actual comment says that the ones that don't get picked from the Kiwi squad can go play for the A squad. Don't know if it actually is the other way around, actually. So I'll make sure I'll show you that exactly how it's said. Not what's
Thank you.
Yeah, but it only makes sense, because they are. I mean, who else because if no doubt players will get injured, who are you supposed to draw from? Yeah.
What's the squad number? Like, we surely wouldn't just be 17 players, right?
Nah, there'll be a wider squad, bro.
Yeah. So they might just say, hey, it's tough luck. You got to play someone out of position. I don't know.
Because how many's in this team? 14. Is it 14?
For the top team, it's 21 man squad.
15
No,
in the A squad.
It's only 15 in this squad.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, Dr. Clay, I mean, he's played for the Māoris. But awesome opportunity for these young fellas to put on the black jersey.
Definitely.
And they'll go hard too, I reckon.
Yeah, there's only 15 for the top team. Man, that number seems real small, bro. That's like 2 reserves.
For the top team?
For the A team, it's got 15. For the top team, I think there's 21, it says.
Yeah. Oh, no. Sweet.
There's a player, Pasami Solo for Canberra Raiders. I think he's
good. I like Solo. I think he's a good player. I was a bit stinged on Whaamanu Brown, though. I was surprised about that. He hasn't had much game time at all this season.
And he's been around a long time too. He's not really an up-and-comer.
Where did he go? From the Bulldogs to
Sharks?
Sharks, I am. Oh, well, hopefully he gets some game time at the next season I'm talking about, but you know that Keanu Kinney, didn't you have him as your fullback, Ty?
Yeah.
For your team, yeah.
Yeah, man. He's a Northcote junior. Obviously applies straight over there in the Queensland area in Burleigh. Yeah, I rate him. He's kind of like Tane as well as got that Reece Walsh to him as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I had him. I think I had him as well. Taitokoro Tornadoes.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of it. I wish, because on Sky Sport now they don't show the New South Wales Cup games, do they? Live? They don't, eh?
Not that I'm aware of. Not too sure.
They're always streamed now on their Facebook, I think. So if they're streamed for free, then they're not. No one's picked them up to broadcast them. Who knows? Who knows next year? Next year maybe.
They always have the highlights, but yeah.
Yeah, happy as for Rocco Berry that he got named, and Tane.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
How proud they'd be like, bro, that's so cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah, heck yeah.
And Will Warbrick, he's already had internationals experience, eh?
Sevens, New Zealand Sevens. Yeah. Where did Te Whare land?
Yeah.
Is he even in the squad?
Oh, no.
He must. Maybe he's injured.
Maybe.
Maybe he's playing for Tonga. He's going to play for Mate Tonga.
That's a really good question, actually, Dale, because I forgot about him. Because he really, he'd make a mean sense. I was even surprised not to see him in the main Kiwis
Topside.
list.
Did you watch a lot of the Dolphins this year, though? Did Bennett use them a lot?
He's got X factor. I feel. It's just still learning the centre defense position, though.
Yeah. He probably played 6, 7 games? 5, 6 games this season.
He's been there a little bit, hasn't
he? Yeah, been in the system, but I think Bennett was using him more. Like would put him in the starting lineup, but there wasn't it wasn't locked in for him. Which, it's like
for injuries, when someone was injured, he'd bring him up because he did anyway. Wasn't that the first reason he got to debut? Was because someone was injured?
Yeah, he came in. Was Brinko Lee? I think he's either suspended or injured.
Wasn't that what's his name? That centre for the Dolphins. I can't remember.
He came in for Brinko.
Yeah, Brinko
Oh,
Lee.
okay.
Yeah.
What I find interesting is and I think I took a little bit offline with this because Jack Holworth and even Trey Mooney, I'm pretty sure they're not born here, but they've obviously picked to represent Kiwis A, which would be cool, you know, if that's their future and they get to represent the Kiwis jersey, because Jack Holworth definitely rate that kid down in the Melbourne system. But I wonder if they don't get a game, if they can actually still switch allegiance. I don't know.
Interesting.
So I had to read up the other day on this bloody tier 1, tier 2, and like, you know, and if your eligibility. What happened with Nathan? Was it Nathan Feen a couple of years ago?
Renegade.
Yeah, when he said his great grandmother was born in New Zealand, but
yeah,
so the Kiwis.
From my recollection, he said that it was his grandmother was a New Zealander or something, but it turned out to be his great grandmother that was. So they originally ruled him out for being eligible, but then he was able to play for New Zealand because he played in New Zealand for X many years.
Yeah,
through residency.
So
and he made a difference for us too, having him there.
Fuck yeah! You look at that 2008 World Cup, for example.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, he was the man.
He was a good hooker, man. Shit.
Yeah. Now he's assistant coach at the Dolphins, isn't he?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, bro.
He's
right up there. And it's like, mate, good on him. Good on
him. All right, Fano. Should we get into our... Oh, sorry.
No.
Sorry, you can say something?
No, I didn't.
Just thought we could get into our ratings. Where should we go first? Should we go spine first, forwards first? Any preference?
Nah.
I'm easy, bruh. I'm
easy.
Someone call it.
Backs.
Outside backs. Outside backs. Let's go. So, look, it was mostly, I mean, if we have a look at all our outside backs, it was mostly like DWZ, Berry, Montoya, Pompey. That's what we kind of got used to the second half of the season. But for the first half, you know, Corsi was doing some damage.
He was.
Vailea had 5 games. 1 try, I think, in that first game, or was it the second game? Can't remember. It was one try somewhere anyway.
Yeah.
Second game?
Was it the first game?
Was it Braden Williami and the one here in Wellington?
Yeah,
that's the first game.
Oh, it's Williami.
That was the first game.
No, I'm talking about Vailea.
Oh, okay. Pass.
Anyway, we just stick to kind of like DWZ, you know, Berry, Montoya, and Pompey for now, and we can talk about those other guys later. But DWZ, 24 tries. I think you know, most lot's been said about him. Montoya probably about 10 tries. Yeah. Anybody want to kick us off? Leo, I know you got some rating systems with the boys.
Yeah. So, you know, in the season, I wanted to wrap it up like class of 2023 and grade the boys, give them a like out of a plus, A minus, you know, for the season, for the team. So the back line, that was a kind of spreading it out over the entire season. The best of them for me was Adam, you know, played every game. He did improve through the season, and I scored him the highest out of those 4. So I used our old scoring system, and I'll give my highest score, and that's it, and leave the other ones there. But for me, Adam got out of 10. Adam got 8.5. And the rest of them, the rest of that back line, Adam, Montoya, Rocco, and Dallin, for me, they got a B rating. All right. So out of that score for the season, and that's for the entire season, for the back line, for me, they got a B, bro, which is a pass.
You know what? Looking back at a couple of games just recently, bro, I love those scores, by the way. Looking back at a couple of those games just recently, the amount of work that Pompey does to get us out of red zone, and his carries and his post contacts, like you know, really, I really got to give him a lot of credit. His post contacts are quite huge, and his footwork as well. I know he always does that little ditty thing just before he gets to a defender, but a little bit like what an AFB does.
Yeah,
but he actually puts in a lot of work, you know. And I think, and probably talked about this a million times. I think just some of his mistakes have been quite big ones. Big ones, right? And so we always remember the big ones. But anyway, no, I think, I think it's a fair score, bro.
No, sheepdog.
Cool. Well, I definitely think some of the Warriors fan groups might be thinking, well, Adam first.
Hey, what the fuck?
You took me by surprise, bro.
No, I just between him and Dallin. Yeah, Dallin got the tries and all the rest of it. He's a finisher. He's expected to. But I think in regards to work rate, Adam was up there, bro. And like some of Dallin's, when he fluffed it, bro, he fluffed it big time. Yeah, and I mean Adam did too, but not as consistent. Adam was my top scorer.
Nice. I always forget to take that into consideration, the fact that he played every minute of every game this whole season. And that's huge, man. And I totally agree with you. You know, like, it's not just about scoring tries. You know, playing a good game just isn't about the number of tries you scored. You know, that just, and like exactly what you said, that's his job, to finish and to score. Good point, Adele.
No, great point.
Yeah, and Dallin's not prone to mistakes as well. We've talked about it here. It's high risk, high reward stuff that he most of the time has no reward. Because when I look back at some of those the only intercepts that I can remember is the one against Dolphins where he jammed and got that intercept, and the last one was against Broncos. Right, and then I think there was another one against the Bunnies where it came off his chest and then it hit his hand. It was a knock on, whatever. But he's not prone to mistakes. But he's definitely our number one winger for that side. Anyway, I remember when Corsi was playing, then he got, you know, when Dallin came back. Actually, he came back and it was like, well, where's Corsi going to go? And I think Corsi ended up going into centre. And Dallin was the finisher. The one that we needed to finish all those tries. So agree with those, bro.
Yeah, fair call. I think I'm just gonna be someone that's keeping it really bland and vanilla. I think DWZ don't have a score for him, but I think, you know, the pass in terms of tries for all time for the Warriors, I think that's a huge achievement. And again, you know, he is only just finishing it, but I think we take for granted how he finishes it, because it's just, you know, it seems like it does that every single week. And but, you know, about 10 years ago, that was always freak tries. So I have to go with DWZ as kind of our best back. But I would have to say, you know, again, availability. You know, what did they say? Your best ability is availability. And Adam Pompey was always there. I would say he was in every minute. He got Simba in the last game, so that you know,
still don't know what for.
The professional foul, but yeah. So I have to give it to DWZ. I would actually go Adam runner up. I do think some of those big mistakes, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what the coaching and management staff do, because obviously you got Roger back and all of that, and I do think that side needs to get fixed heavy if we want to compete against the top two. Probably can go through the regular season, you know, doing as we did, but there needs to be some switch. And personally, I don't know, I would like to see him on the wing, see what he can actually do out there on that side, and potentially put RTS there. I know, or even Kossi there, but I don't want to make that decision. I'll leave it up to the management. But yeah, DWZ, MVP at the backs, and then runner up for me was Adam Pompey.
Easy.
Nice.
Easy decision.
Adam used to be on the wing.
Yep, he's played wing before.
Yeah, like when he's like years ago, when he pretty much first rolled up, he was the winger.
For the Warriors, from memory. So he can't play that spot.
You and Ty and Lil raised some really good points. See, I'm such a small-minded thinker. I'm just like, no, that guy's not. No, I have to agree. I think Oh shit, that's a hard one. Yeah, Pompey. I'd go Pompey. Apart from all his mistakes, but hey, they all made mistakes, man. None of them are error-free. So yeah, I'll go Pompey, and I might go Berry for the most improved, actually.
Yep,
sure.
Because he done really well the last couple of games. He was an OG, man. It made a world of difference for us anyway on attack and defense. Man, his kick chase was just And see towards the A, like especially at the end of the season, his kick chase and his defense was on point. It kind of reminded me of just watching that grand final. Kind of reminded me of Herbie Farnsworth, to be honest. Just his defense and his kick chase. But yeah, that's me. Pompey for you. The MVP, and I'll go Berry for the most improved.
True.
Nice. Personally, I'll go MVP for the backs, Dallin. Again, that try scoring record was just impressive. As I hope in the off season he kind of tries to cut down on running for intercepts at every fucking opportunity, because I think that turned into a bit of a liability, especially in that Broncos game. But yeah, I still reckon the MVP, and probably runner-up would be Rocco Berry. I thought he was really, really solid.
Sure.
Yeah, it's obvious for me too. All those tries, all those highlights will be looked at for the next 100 years, right? You know, the flying mullet, and yeah, he's finishing it, but still not easy to finish it. So yeah, he's got to be my MVP. But the runner-up for me is it's really hard for me between Rocco and Pompey. But no, I've got to give it to Pompey. I think he's overall for the whole season. I know that Rocco kind of, and we were saying this kind of halfway through the season. We like Rocco, but we want to see more from him. So he grew into the player that he is right now. So I'd say
and he'll keep growing too. He'll get better.
His ceiling's massive.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, his ceiling is massive. But no, for the run up for me, it's definitely got to be Pompey because of just his work rate and everything what everybody else has just said. So yeah, no, but our Berry, he's got a big ceiling. And whilst we're in the outside backs, why don't we just talk about it now?
Head it out,
let's just get it out of the way. Let's just get this shit out of the way, right? Because we're here at the outside backs. We've got the four that we've just mentioned. Corsi, if he stays fit, is coming back. RTS is in. Leatawa, I don't know, he's 18, 19. He probably doesn't really have a shot. CHT, who knows? So in terms of our outside backs next season, who would you guys want starting? I'll go first because I'll just throw it out there. I would like to have DWZ inside him, keeping it with actually I'll go DWZ Pompey, and on the other side I'd go Roger at wing and Corsi inside him.
Oh,
wow.
Interesting, bro.
Yeah. So as I was thinking about Berry and how big his ceiling is, then I start thinking about, is he even going to have a game next year?
yeah, true that.
Interesting.
It would be sad if he didn't, because he worked so hard towards the middle, towards the back end of the season, but it shows that he obviously, or the coaches, whoever must, and just said, bro, you've got to put in 110%, because he really changed his game, and he fucking, he was trying really hard, and it showed because everyone noticed it. I'd probably keep that side the same, but I'd go RTS at centre and Kusi on the wing, only because Kusi's, I think he's got more power and strength, so he's got a good fend, whereas RTS has got the speed and the step to be on the inside of him. So that's probably the way I'd go.
All will be revealed in that first game, whether he's got the speed and whether he's still got that step.
This is what I was thinking. Like, we talked about this a couple of days ago, and I was thinking, we're saying RTS should start, but none of us are going to get to see what he's like until whenever he's named in that starting lineup. So until then, it's pretty much nobody knows. Is he going to be the same?
Good question.
Is he going to be the same? Is he going to have that same. So it's going to be a tough one, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be a killer of a preseason for the boys, man.
A lot of competition.
It's a bit different to
They
like.
have to work their ass off.
I agree. I was just going to say, with I'm just glad we have that competition, because I think it's so easy to, rest on your laurels and just expect that you got that position tied up. So the fact that we've got a lot of centers and wings means that whoever they pick is the right one. And obviously there'll be injuries, so we'll probably see others step in throughout the season. But that's what I'm glad about. But to jump straight in. Actually, I'm going to retract. I'm just going to go back to our MVP stuff. What I want to say, the reason why I didn't pick Rocco Berry most improved, it's just because it's game time. I think he had a lot of injuries at the start. I don't think he got time until round 11. But I definitely think he was getting stronger. And then to lead into a question of who should be the centers, wings for the backline, left and right side, I think him and Dalen hold their spots. Having watched the game again, I didn't watch the full game again. I just kind of skipped parts, but watching their right side, I did get exposed on the night. But thinking about the final, the Panthers watched that game. They saw that it wasn't because their side couldn't necessarily defend, as they got up in those passing lanes. And I think the Warriors got caught off guard. They didn't realize how to kind of stop that offload game. And I think if those guys had a bit more knowledge around it, if they were to verse Broncos again, I think we would potentially see a different effort. Maybe we would still see Dalen jump out for some intercepts, but I mean, there'll be a lot more, okay, we can't just wait 10 meters back and expect them to come at us. We actually have to kind of get up. So knowing that knowledge, I think Rocco and Dalen keep their right side. But left side, I go with you in terms of, I think we haven't seen RTS, but just going off merit and history, I'd like to see him there. And then I think for me, it's between Kossi and potentially Pompey for that wing spot. I don't think necessarily Pompey's fast or anything like that, but I do think, just watching him, he's one that's talking on their left side. So I think if we've got our winger talking in, got a leader in Roger talking as well, I kind of hope to see their left side, strong. But at the same time, Kossi's a big body. So it'd be good to have a big body out there on the wing as well. And he was finding his feet until he got injured too. So I'm not mad. That's the coaching decision to see what they pick after the preseason. But I think the actual potential only spots that are up for grabs is the left side. I think that right side's locked down for at least the start of the year. Unless they fuck around on preseason.
Is that the boys can, if one of the wingers get injured or whatever, or a centre, the boys can swap over. So RTS could, of course, like whoever the winger is for that right. Well, I keep forgetting. RTS could take it. You know what I mean? Like there's just a lot of depth in our backs. Actually in our backs, and it's awesome. But like someone just mentioned earlier, like, man, those boys are going to have to play hard if they want to keep their spot. And I think Andrew Webster would love that.
Yeah, and I think to be fair too, we've struggled to have decent centres for quite a while. Our centre combinations have been pretty sad. So for the boys to build into it. And kind of I just think going into next year, like my those pairings for our backline, my starters would be Dallin and Rog, and then Pompey and Adam and Kossi. But the Adam and the Pompey and Kossi combo, because they were playing well together start of this year. So that's a combination that's already proven. Rog, I just kind of I'd like to think that when Rog comes back, he's just going to slot straight in. He's the older statesman, a bit wiser. Yeah, he might be playing out of position, but I think the preseason is going to be more than enough time for him to figure it out. More so for seeing up if he's on that same side as Dallin or on the other side. I think whoever his wingers are going to be, they're going to have a good season because he's going to be setting them up. But yeah, they're my combinations.
Nice.
Awesome.
Weird though, because I mean, Montoya and Pompey both signed their contracts mid-season, didn't they?
Yep.
Mid-season till what was it? The end of 2025.
I know about Montoya's one, but I think Pompey's one was end of 2025. Yeah.
They're going to be around for a while.
Yeah, but in saying that,
Competition.
contracts actually don't mean that much these fucking days, eh?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they
that too, bro.
bro.
That too. Yeah.
My backs for next year, I'll go with Berry and Dallin, keeping their combination, and then on the other side, I'll have Roger in the centres and Corsi partnering him on the wing.
True.
Yeah, I think I reckon that's a dynamic pairing, man. You imagine that, all that strength and power with that freaking speed and step and manipulation of the foot or whatever it is you want to call it. But yeah.
And while Corsi's young and still quite inexperienced, you look at the experience that RTS has behind him, so he'll look after
bro.
Pretty well.
Exactly.
Just going to the Montoya, it's re-signed till 2025.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's weird. Like you think about it, you think, okay, so he signed a winger and a centre mid-season, but then he bought another centre in. But that was at the beginning of the season.
Beginning of the season.
Yeah, I wonder what the thinking is around that.
I'm thinking just competition, depth.
Competition, yeah.
Every great team has got competition.
You want depth in all your sports, though.
I'm not saying we're a great team, but every great team in every sport's got competition.
Yep.
Yeah, we know that. That's
And I guess the question is how much they signed for too. It might not be heaps.
Yeah. It's exactly what I was just about to go into. From what I hear, Adam Ponte got quite homesick when he was he with the Roosters before? Yeah. So he was more than happy to come back to New Zealand, and from what I hear, he doesn't want to go back to Australia. So they should probably pick them up pretty cheap.
There's potential for that. And I guess the thing with the switching sides, like people might have different opinions around it, but just from my own experience, switching, especially on outside backs, jumping on the other side, like a little bit more adjustable for the winger, but for the centre, the defensive reads are different. And if you think about it, right, like when they're attacking, if people can pass better left side, obviously in NRL they should be able to pass both sides, but left side's usually stronger. So if you're on the right side, you actually got the hardest D. If you switch from left to right, it's like you're going against fucking a tsunami because it's just it seems a lot faster. So switching side is easy, but pre-season you got time to make those adjustments. Train it.
I've always wondered that, Ty, too. I've always wondered, well, what's the difference between that side and that side? But I suppose it'll be like being left-handed all your life and then having to try and write with your right hand, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. And then a lot of attack is just, most ball playing is left side, but like all the best attackers left side. Doesn't mean they're at their level, they can pass right, but that's just another consideration of you have to have your strong defenders on your right side.
Yeah.
So you're in good stead if you've got guys that can attack on both sides.
Hard out.
And I think we're going to be. It's just going to be really interesting looking into next year how their backline runs.
Yeah. So I think whatever happens with the powers that be that make all those decisions, obviously we just can't wait. I just can't wait to that announcement, Whānau. So
hell yeah.
That was our outside backs.
The next minute, Rogers playing hooker.
Rogers our 13. Rogers our lock. Ball playing lock. Can't wait. I mean, any other kind of outside back you guys want to touch on or anything? There's only really Vailea, really, and Williami played 2 games.
Well, I think wish all the best for Vailea. I know he defensively was sometimes a liability, but I did think there was potential on his attack. So I think he's going to do. It's going to be interesting to see what he does over at the Cowboys. Hope they, you got Valentine Holmes and all that there that have got experience. So we'll see what he becomes.
All right,
probably good under Todd Payton.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too.
Yeah,
that kind of military guy.
Yeah, so has the contract with Wrigley's chewing gum. That guy, that guy must go through so much chewing gum. I'm sorry, but anyway. He
might be sponsored. He might be sponsored, Coach.
Yeah.
Might be getting a nice little paycheck every single week for chewing the gum on the.
And Ricky Stewart, they must go hard.
If you chew too much bubble gum, it becomes a laxative effect.
Hey, yeah, just check out Ricky Stewart.
Oh,
All right, fine. Moving along. So we've gone our outside backs. Let's do our forwards. Let's do our forwards. There's a few of them in there. Props. AFB, Mitchie Barnett, Bunty was in there actually for kind of good first half of the season.
Yeah.
Forward New Curran. Curran, though, he's not really 4 days. Most of the time he came in interchange.
Yeah.
Jazz only played. He did.
Maybe we need to set rules. They have to start 3 games in the year to class as it.
All right. How about we just go, kind of AFB, Barnett, forward New Kore, Tohu, because in there as well as like Jazz. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bunty. Ale played a few. Comes back. He never started it. He started one, didn't he?
Started one, yeah.
Started one. AFB 10 tries or 9 tries. Can't even remember.
No, wasn't it?
How many other front rowers scored 9 tries?
None. they all scored 1 try at least.
Yeah.
No, but in the competition, how many other front rowers scored 9 tries?
No idea, bro.
Out of all isn't he the highest try scorer for the props in the whole of the comp? I'm pretty sure he is actually.
I wonder how many wingers scored 8 tries.
Hey, boy, going back to Dallin. So I saw a clip. I think it was I can't remember where, but I saw a clip, and when he was playing for the Bulldogs, and he was getting a try, and the commentators, it must have been, our favourite, what it might have been, Blocker Roach, said that was his 5th try. In this clip, it said that was Dallin's 5th try in 2.5 seasons when he was at the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Well, he hated it over. Yeah.
That just goes to show what it can do for you when you've got a good coach or good coaching staff and the right group of boys around you to make you perform at your best. From 5 tries in 2.5 seasons to 24 tries in 26 games.
Oh, he was also over at Penrith as well. So he had good coaches over there as well, but for whatever reason they didn't want him. But he apparently, I think we've seen in interviews he hated his time over at the Bulldogs.
Him and his brother both played at Penrith, both wingers too.
Yep, Malachi.
Yep. Malachi. So my understanding is that Dallin was then viewed as a fullback. So he went to the Bulldogs as a fullback position and was given a really insane contract. And he just didn't like the pressure of being on that kind of money and whatnot. The Bulldogs weren't happy with him. So, they got rid of him and the Warriors picked him up with the Bulldogs paying a good chunk of his contract for a little while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Warriors are probably paying him this, complete contract nowadays, but for the first little while, Bulldogs are actually chipping him for quite a bit.
Interesting. Gee, you fellas are like detectives. I just sponge off all your guys' information.
I just asked ChatGPT. Nah, jokes.
Damn.
I'm gonna go AFB. A bit of a toss up between him and Tohu. But like for me, if either of them are not on the team list, bro, we're screwed. No. Those games where Tohu were out, man, they were tough. And
exactly.
Those games were just a bit all over the place. Organization wasn't there. We weren't a lot really. I think if you go back through the games where Tohu wasn't there, we lost. And we looked like a little bit disjointed, a little bit lost. So, but I can't go past 9 tries, bro, for a front row with like the twinkle toes feet that like leave centers behind and scores. So he's definitely my guy for the MVP and like runner up Tohu. But I could switch those around and they could be they could be exactly the same. So front row next season, don't know if we've got the budget, but I'd love to have someone that can help AFB out. So it's not just his shoulders and his legs and his post-contact meters that we're relying on every single game. Because I think that fatigue definitely showed in that Broncos game. So you have a look around the comp, 2 big dogs at the front, and we've got 1 big dog. No disrespect to Barney, love Barney. He's more of a second row for me. But then if we do put him in a second row, then we've got this other fucking headache. Like, who the hell do we? So he's AFB for me.
They should just get that Zion Mau'u from Capo. He's a prop, eh?
No, I think he's a second row.
Oh, are you sure?
No, I'm not sure. Nope.
Oh, the only reason I'm so, did he have number 8 on his back? That's how I know. Not by, I just know by the numbers. Okay.
Yep. I thought he was a second row, but no. But like who? So Zion might, because the way he runs in those highlight clips is just like it's got those mean steps and everything. But like a lot of those kids, I'm going to call them, in that comp can step anyway. Doesn't matter what fucking number they got on their back.
Yeah. True.
But if you do that though, times what? So you're basically saying you're gonna leapfrog Tom Ale, who's a interchange prop, right? Bunty, right? You're gonna leapfrog him.
In regards to Bunty, I mean, come on, I'm sure all season, and not just us, fans on every other page have been questioning his ability to I don't know. I think this is probably one of his. Oh God, I don't like. Probably one of his poorer seasons. I'll just say, like just in meters wise.
Just in meters wise, yeah.
I don't think he's made as much of an impact. I mean, I just don't think he's made as much of an impact this season as what he had in previous seasons.
I think it's fair.
Yeah.
In terms of carries, I'd say yes. I would have to look at the defensive numbers though, because not many people get past them. He might not be the first one there. He might not be the first one there, but he's definitely in the ruck. But
in saying that though, he had. I suppose I've got to be fair in saying that because he's had really small minutes this season.
True.
I think one of his smallest ones was 15 minutes out of a whole game. So, I mean, to expect to do heaps of damage in 15 minutes, you're probably asking for a bit much. But yeah.
Kōrero. Let's just have a look at the brothers.
That's fair.
Maybe.
I think. Oh, go, bro.
Maybe just a thought. I mean, I'm certainly not the coach, but maybe Webby needs to have a little bit less reliance on AFB and give us some of these up-and-coming props a little bit more game time. I mean, I think that's one of the big reasons why our interchange props don't actually get a lot of game time is because of how many minutes AFB is on the park for, and also Mitch Barnett as well. They're going to soak up a whole lot of minutes, but what that does is it puts the fatigue in them further down the road. So if you give them a little bit more of a break, give those young pups more of a go, it might actually be a little bit more beneficial.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, Damien. Yeah, I agree. And it gets those boys out of cup to, just to inspire them to be, to just keep growing their game, working harder, and that's what you want too. You want your lower grades to work towards the bigger picture, which is getting into first grade, carving it up, making a difference for the team. And so, and if you keep getting held back, I don't know, I mean, if you keep getting held back for so long, you probably think, fuck it, and that's why players end up signing for other teams is because they're not getting that game time that they need to grow as a player. Opportunity. Yeah. And you can't grow as a player if you're not expected to do anything more.
Yep.
So just to throw a couple of stats out there, out of all the games that Bunty played this year, there was 3 games where he cracked 100 in terms of running meters. But check this out. The brother's got 97.7% tackle efficiency. I know he's mean on defense,
Yeah.
That's pretty strong.
And every game, actually, I would say 50% of the games is double figures in tackles and hasn't missed one.
Wow.
It's not a bad stat, bro.
I would say 70% of the games he's double figures in all tackles except for one game against bloody Manly. We only played 17 minutes. That was that game. We only played 17 minutes. We made 7 tackles, but he still didn't miss any of those. So not many people get past him. But yeah. Hopefully Webby's got a plan for the Brogues. I think he's really liked. I think if you're a Warriors fan.
I mean, I love Bunty, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's always been one of my favourites, actually. Bunty has. But like I said, I suppose with limited game time, you can't really make a dent in the game if you're not fucking there long enough.
I'll chuck in my
bro.
For the forwards, the MVP.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah, I've pretty much. So I rated that forward pack: Tohu, Jacko, Marata, Barney, and Aiden. I rated them overall as a A- for this season.
Nice.
You know, yeah, they were. There was probably enough for them to do a little bit more, couple more things to work on. But they actually done enough to, you know, they were one game away from the big dance. You know, and yeah, the obvious choices like Tohu and Aiden, they were outstanding. Tohu for me, you know, just in regards to that score stuff, he got 9.5 for me. So he edged Aiden. But my most improved amongst our forwards for me was Barney. He came to the club as a second row, was chucked in the front row, and you know he when he was on, he had an impact. Mongrel, Mahi Dog just get stuck in and you know would go hunting. One of the free Wolfpack, you know, for me, and and it was you know that transition from the second row to the front row. I think he did get caught out a couple of times, more so towards the end of the season, because he's that impact guy, so he'd blow himself out in the first 10-15 minutes, and that was I don't know, that maybe that's something that Webby will address going into next year. I'd love to see those New South Wales Cup props get a run, but part of me's leaning towards Barney. Barney's going to be there next year, unless we get a bargain buy come our way.
Well, but someone just said, sorry, bro. Someone just said in the comments, Lashan Parky, Tapine.
Okay.
And I'm like, Tapine, and you probably know more about this than me, Damien. He looks like he loves the Raiders.
Yeah.
He looks like the type of player that'll be there for forever.
A couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, a couple of seasons ago, not so much. It was a business that put something up on social media about how you need to play him more, otherwise we're fucking off pretty much, eh? So, so he's happy where he is now. He's like the last 2 years been their player of the year. So I mean, he's pretty happy. If the Warriors were to pick him up, they'd be paying him a fucking shit ton, eh? I don't think they've got the salary cap for him.
No, we can't afford
it. Probably a mil. More than that, probably 1.2. I reckon he'd probably be on more than Addin.
To bring him over, I think so.
He's their star player, man. Like, he is the glue. He's the glue of that team, man. He's the post. The post.
It's the same in the Kiwis. Tapine steps it up again. You know.
Yep.
But yeah, Barney was my most improved. Yeah, Barney was my most improved, and Tohu took it out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Couple.
Me.
Yeah. I'd probably go AF. Oh, man, I hate choosing the same play. No, I'd go AFB and can I have AFB and Tohu equal?
Yep.
Good.
Do what you want, Tans.
It's your awards.
Yeah.
Do what you want, Tans. It's our show.
I'll have old Jacko Ford as my most improved.
Oh, sure.
Oh, actually, yeah.
It's your choice. No right or wrong answers, cuz. It's your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I love Joshy Curran too. But I mean, he's out, so he doesn't matter because he's on the bench, so he comes later on down the track. But yeah, I'll go Jackson Ford. But even watching that first Newcastle game, the first game of the season, he was actually good then too. I was like, damn, like he was good in that game.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And he runs hard, man. Like he tries to break that line hard out, and he does get some meters. So yeah, I'll go Jacko Ford as the MIP and Addin and Tohu. Yeah, Evans
Stevens, nice one.
Nice.
For myself, I kind of agree with you, Tans, but I'll have MVP as Addin. I think he's just fucking amazing. Runner-up, Tohu Harris. But I do agree, most improved player, Jackson Ford. When we signed Jackson Ford, I was thinking, who the fuck is this guy? He's played like 30 games, most of them off the bench. He's done fuck all. But fuck, man, like even game one, as we were just saying, he was amazing. And he owned that spot. And admittedly, Josh Curran battling him for it, they both could play that spot. But he's fucking done well. At the start of the year, he was a penalty magnet. It felt like he was giving up like 80 penalties a game. But he trimmed them down. I just think most improved player, Jackson Ford.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, main.
Just on that before we move on to ties, bro, do you think a lot of these players that were kind of like castaways, CNK, him, Walker to some extent, do you reckon they all came over here like a point to prove? Like a big FU, look at me now kind of thing?
The interesting thing about too, you might have heard Dylan Walker, when he signed, he made a point in his own mind that he was not going to be a shit signing because he had seen so many players come over to the Warriors and just become a shell of what they were. He did not want to become a shit signing. And that's his words. I thought that was pretty cool.
He likes being a bench player too. He likes it. He prefers to come off the bench and make that impact. Where a lot of guys, they want to start. They want to be
they want the top. Yeah.
They want their name highlighted. Started 13, but he's just like, nah, man. I like my role as a utility. I think I'm good at it, and it's like, shot, man. And I think when clubs let you go, even SJ said it when even he said it when the Sharks let him go again. Yep, he had a bit of and with the Warriors that you have a kind of a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
So everyone wants to prove that old club wrong. Like, oh well, fuck you, boy. I'll show you.
Well, SJ proved us. SJ proved us wrong. Yeah.
They've all done that. Now you'll have clubs like the Dragons is it the Dragons that let Jackson Ford go?
Yeah.
No, they'll be like, damn, and especially how their season went.
Jackson Ford scored a try over there, didn't
he?
Yeah. Yes, he did.
He ripped the ball off someone and ran towards the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Where's
Ty?
I'm over here. I'm just over here contemplating.
Right,
but to be honest, in terms of my picks, nothing different to what's already been said. I'm going straight down the boring path, and AddinFonua-Blake MVP, and Tohu Harris definitely runner-up. And I agree with Damien saying Ford most improved. If I had to be honest, I kind of thought, what was the point of that signing? I thought instead of signing someone like Ford, we've got second rows galore in our New Zealand system. Would have been cool to see them step up. But I think he did improve a lot. I am also going to say, if this was NBA and we could trade players, I think his values increased so much that I would actually trade him to actually see what we could actually get back. And I only say that because I think he's improved so much, but I just think he would come off better for the bench if we're going to try and take on those top two teams or, see what kind of competition there is next year. I personally think he's a workhorse. He can go hard, but I just don't know if it's enough to actually be top of the competition. So if we could trade that value, that's personally what I would do. But I do think he improved a lot from the games I watched them when he was playing at the Dragons. So yeah, boring, kind of there. But just back to the Tapine. Obviously, Tapine is obviously went over to Australia, but he's Kiwis. There's another Tapine that's hopefully coming through the Warriors system. I'm like, instead of us trying to go and buy a $1 million player, I just hope we've got our recruitment watching for that type of player. And I think it can come from within. because I do think we've got some good forwards. Ideally, if we could sign someone, that would be cool. But you know, there's that what's his name, Liquor, that's running it down there. Looks like he's got good foot.
Halasima. Halasima, is that him?
Yeah.
What is that? Tennis Dallas Smith. What position does he play? Is he a front row, second row? No. Tennis Dallas Smith and Cup.
Would it be
Pass.
Wouldn't know, to be honest.
Because he's good, man. He comes off the bench too for Cup, but I'm sure he's a second row.
Is James Gavay still in the cup?
Yeah.
He was this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
But no, I agree completely, Ty. I think if we really need to spend money, like on a prop, I think, like you guys said, a prop would be good. But why? Why, if we've got all those, if we've got that kind of, if we've got that person in Cup, why go and spend money, man? Just recruit him, build him, you know, coach him. That's what preseason's for anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
And yeah, like, and just back to the Budsy R4, like, you know, I think he's put in hard yards for the Warriors, you know. Have enjoyed him running from the back fence, but I just don't know if it's enough, you know. And again, it's not to diminish these players, it's just you know, I think Jazz kind of is our Spencer Leniu off the bench type player, you know. Don't want to mold us against Penrith or anything like that, but we need someone that's going to strike fair. I think Bunty's at a point where I don't know if he strikes fair. I don't know if people are fearful of him running, you know, at you. So again, it's not to kind of diminish him as a player. It's just, is it enough to take us to the next level?
That's a fair
He might
point.
be too nice of a guy.
I think he is. He
He
feels
seems like such a nice guy.
guy.
No one's scared of him because he's just too friendly.
Yeah, whereas like you look at like a Leniu and like he don't look nice at all.
You don't want to
There's
cross
nothing. There's terrifying. Everything about looking at him.
I don't
James
think
Fisher-Harris,
they're nice
Riota.
person anyway. Probably to his teammates, he's humble as and nice as, but I imagine
Off the field.
to the opposition, you know,
No.
he ain't polite at all, and you can see it on his face when he's on the field. He's just like, "Fuck you," and the way he sticks up for his boys, you know, went on Instagram, you know, shamed out the Dally M winner. You know, and that's cool. It's like, yeah, bro, you speak up, you know, have your brother's back, man.
No,
and he
good
does
points.
that 100%. He's not scared to either, even though he's not the biggest lad on the field. He's not scared to throw hands or throw his weight around.
Got some pretty big thighs, cuz. No, good points, Ty. Ty, you want to kick us off if we go through the spine? Since you went last this time, so go through the spine. You can kick us off with your thoughts on spine this year.
Spine. Oh, man, I'm boring again. I want to be honest. I think, you know, there was a lot of greatness out of our spine this year. Obviously, our 1, 7, and 9, you know, we're hitting with best of the comp, or around best of the comp, you know, in terms of top 3 spines out there, in my opinion. And then obviously we had the switching in the 6s with Luka Mikiafu and Timai Martin. So I think, you know, it's hard to go past Johnson for MVP, purely off the back of his great season. And to be honest, I think Wade Egan played nice when he was playing, but I think the Bronies will wear headgear next year. I think, you know, he seems to put his head in, unfortunately, the wrong places. And good to have Lussick on the backup, but, you know, we did start to see him grow and start to take runs, and I think it added a bit of a difference. So I'm not going to put him most improved. I think Chance deserves definitely most improved. You know, and in the other team, I think he would have put Johnson for probably one of the better players, but Sean Johnson for MVP, and then runner-up definitely CNK.
Nice. I agree.
I agree.
Sure.
But isn't it going to be interesting though? We got, what's his name? Metcalf, Timaire, Sean Johnson,
CHT
as well. Is he going to, I reckon CHT's definitely going to be coming in off the bench. He's going to be taking Bailey Turinen's role, filling for the hooker. But I agree, Ty, man, that guy needs to wear headgear because it's quite concerning how many head knocks he's had this year. But yeah, I agree. Sean Johnson and CNK for me. definitely.
Sure. Yeah,
Does
I'm pretty much
headgear-
the same.
Sorry to cut you off. Does headgear protect you from concussions, though? I just thought it was more for the ears.
Well, I
Make
think
you
it's
stop getting cauliflower ears.
yeah, you're probably right. It's just when he lands, we just hopefully a little bit of soft cushion.
Yeah, right.
Because
And
Just-
saying that, it mustn't fucking help with head knocks, because look how many times Kalen Ponga's been off, and he's
Good point.
yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
I
Sean
would say
Johnson
that
Sean Johnson used to wear them
Yep, back in the day.
yeah, back in the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
before he got to the NRL.
Yeah, take that. Did you guys watch that video I shared today of him? I didn't
Watch
realise
it.
he could have played for the Gold Coast or the Burleigh Bears.
Yeah.
Buzzing.
He yeah. No, I agree with Tarns and Damien. You can't go past SJ in the spine. For me, he got with that scoring 9.5. The rest of them scored accordingly, but my most improved out of the spine was Wade. More so just because he, we've known he's had that potential to kind of step up for the last 2, maybe 3 years, but he actually came through this season, despite the injuries, despite the head knocks and stuff. When he was on song and just dialed in, he was carving up opposition. Or he was putting our guys through gaps, or he was shooting through gaps himself. Wade for me was our biggest improver. Moving into next year, it's gonna be it's gonna be hard to say actually, because that's probably the only thing that holds him back. The head knocks, the concussions. But yeah, SJ by a mile. Chance and Wade actually scored the same for me, but of those two, I gave the nod to Wade, just because he's done the yardies too. He's stuck it out for the last couple of seasons, and he really came about this year.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, the spine for me got an A. That's how good I thought they were.
Yeah, probably fair.
I'm probably more inclined. I mean, I know Sean Johnson, but I know everyone's going to say Sean Johnson, so that just makes me want to choose someone else. So I reckon CNK probably had the most. He had such a great season, and even though he was off for a couple of games, but man, that guy is just Mr. Reliable, and he hardly does anything wrong.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, even how many high balls has he missed? Not many. Like, fuck, not half a dozen, probably not even that this year. And so I just think he's been so consistent, man. Like, I just think, and I don't mean that just out of the spine, I mean that out of the whole team. He's probably,
Well, when you think about it, if RTS was to sign with most NRL clubs, they're going to put him in fullback straight away, not the Warriors. Like, that's how good CNK has been.
Yeah. And to come from reserve grade at the Raiders into first grade here and just perform like he did is. But then again, I think he just it goes back to what I said before. If you've got the right coaching staff around you and the right boys around you with that mentality, that winning mentality, and not just about winning, just about bettering yourself. I like going out there every week and just proving to yourself and to your team that, man, I got us. Like, I got us 100%. And it just changes. And look how much it's changed this season. We've seen it all season. Like, they've just gone in with this totally different perception of team playing. Like, yeah, man. So yeah, CNK probably actually I'll change my mind again, like I always do.
So CNK, your most valuable?
Yeah, man, 100%.
And then SJ, most improved?
Yeah. No, well, yeah. I'll say he's the most improved because he was fucking terrible last year and the year before.
I just have trauma of him. Some of those games I watched last year, and I didn't watch every game last year. Fine, I'm not going to sit here and lie that I was like watching every single game. But I just remember the games I watched and just the look on SJ's face of just frustration and kind of dejection, you know, like the body language and blowing up at the team. He'd always used to blow up at the team. And it was mostly at Walsh. He used to blow up at Walsh a lot.
Or Josh Parron. Josh Parron.
Actually, he blew up on everybody.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't think he's blowing up on anyone this year. He's being more of a calm head. He's been more of a calmy kind of like, we got this kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So,
When Luke Metcalf had that run, he's blowing up and then he scored.
Yeah, lucky he scored.
Lucky he scored, my bro. Lucky he scored. Okay, so I'm going to go. I'm actually going to go as my most improved as SJ for the same reasons as Tarns.
Nice.
But without good distribution, right pinpoint where he wants it in front of him. You see those passes that Egan does? They're not easy. He's not even fucking looking that way either. He needs to either cut that out or fucking I hate it when players do that, but he's perfected it, so it's fine. But the way he draws in those markers, the way he holds up the ball enough so that the first defender is usually a prop, bites. So he's already got 3 people biting. And just the way that he can spin that ball, no matter how fucking far away SJ is. SJ could be like 20 meters away. Right? And it's just right in front of him, right where he wants it. Without that ball,
clean.
Without that ball, a split second too late or split second too early, we can't do a lot of those plays out the right. Yeah, it's just so tight. So for me, and like what everybody else said, dude needs to, I don't know, get his tackling technique. I don't know. But as a hooker, I was never a hooker, but I'm just saying hookers make a lot of tackles. So they're just going to get in the rough, you know. I mean, you look at like Cheese and how many tackles he used to make. And other really good hookers. So for me, without that, because no disrespect to Lussick, but if you put a Lussick in there, we've seen a Bailey Sirinen being put in there a few times, the distribution just isn't as crisp, and there's just other options that SJ has to go to because of the fact that, you know, when he starts running and the other boys start running out in the outside backs, they need the ball to be at a particular moment, at a particular time for that sweep to work, for the overlap to work, right? So
SJ would have got quite comfortable with that too. SJ would have almost would have known that's solid. I know I can count on him.
You can count on him, right? To
give that pass that I need. Yeah.
I'm not to say that the other guys couldn't do it, but I suppose with Lussick, it's just time. It's just time with him and whoever the hell the someone else is going to be. But anyway, that's what I put down as the bro most valuable.
True.
Can I just? Oh, anyway, apologies what I said about Sean. You weren't fucking horrible, but you just didn't have your best season last year, mate. And that's understandable with what you're going through. Just in case you're watching, which I know you're not, but anyway. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. In regards to Lussick, though, in my honest opinion, and I'll probably cop some hate for this, but I don't think he's first grade ready yet. I just don't. I think he's still got a lot to learn. And I think, I just don't.
It's a tough one.
I think another season in Cup would do him well. He's good for a fill-in for when there's injuries, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Watch a couple of his Cup games. If you watch a couple of his Cup games, he's actually, I won't say he's too good for them, but he's ready. He's ready to come out of that Cup system. Now he might get poached because you can see it. He's actually a few steps ahead of everybody else in that Cup team. He's actually waiting for other players. He's actually, and I heard this from a mate of mine that watches a lot of that. A lot of the Cup. Lussick. Yeah, I don't either.
I just see it on clips that they might, you know, or I'll go onto YouTube and check out the highlights.
The highlights.
Other than that, there's not many full games that are replayed anywhere. It's really hard to find them, but yeah, you're right. You're definitely right, Nick, about just his that crisp passing out of dummy half, out of the ruck and stuff. And yeah.
No, he's probably not ready to replace Egan, is probably a better statement, but I think he's definitely ready for first side. Definitely ready for top side. It's just that he needs more time to. I mean, fuck, it's not exactly the easiest position, hooker.
He needs more. The busiest, isn't it?
I think my personal opinion. I think defensively, Lussick is. I think he's pretty gangster. He will try and bang the front rows if he can. It's the attack is obviously still a lot to desire in terms of like top grade first NRL players. But I think defensively I like what he does in the middle.
I mean, defensively, he's like CHT, doesn't care how big the guy is. He just goes in there and frickin' slams them. But that's what I mean. So on attack, he's got a lot to learn on attack. But defensively, he's solid. But, it's not all about defense, man. It's about, you got to find that balance between defense and attack.
To be fair, how long did it take Wade Egan to get where he's currently at, though?
Exactly.
Quite a while. So I think any young player is going to take a little while to get really good at playing hooker.
Yep. Yeah, I remember fans in previous years wanted Egan out. They were like, guy's rubbish.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was one of them because I was like, is this guy ever going to run?
Is this guy ever going to look where he's passing?
I think the majority of a lot of the Warriors teams we had that we probably were in two minds about all of them a couple of seasons back,
True.
But that's my opinion on Lussick. I mean, I just don't think he's
he just needs some time, I reckon, cuz.
I think so.
Yeah.
But and that's what, going back to what I was saying earlier, they're not gonna develop their play until they're put in that position to do that. And so it's a hard one.
Look at Berry this.
You just have to put them in there and throw them in the deep end in order for them to perform at that level. Otherwise,
look at Berry, look at Jackson Ford.
10
times the players than what they were at the beginning of the season, but no.
Okay, I take it.
No, it's a good point though. It's a good point. He's just not there. He's not there yet. Hopefully he sticks around. But if he doesn't, then
what was your mate saying about Lussick, bro? In regards to
he's kind of two steps ahead of everybody else because he's come through. Was it the Rooster system? Yeah.
I think so.
His footy IQ is quite high for Cup. That's what he said.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And he might take off.
Oh no, he didn't say that. I said that. Hopefully he can stick around.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The downside to being the second string, downside to being the second string, the backup. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Not going to get the minutes. Got to hope for HIA. We don't want HIAs on the bro.
Yeah.
And so as 18th man, you travel with the team, the first, obviously, because you're 18th man. So the amount of times he was named 18th man, he would have missed out on game time with his New South Wales Cup team. And then not getting on, obviously not getting on the field when he was 18th man. So he's, probably lost out on a bit this season, to be honest. And
it's a good idea to mix up your 18th man. Yeah. So you're not missing too much.
Yeah, true. Getting on to interchange, or did anybody else have anything else to say about the spine, or?
Nope.
So interchange was a bit of a mixed bag, A bit of a ragtag, kind of gang of like outcasts. But started off with the Ball brothers at the beginning of the season, and that looked real promising, We even had a name for them. 1-2 punch off the bench, and then someone got injured. So what do we got? We got like those two, Ciro, Suriname,
Curran,
Joshi, had Ale in there a couple of times. Who else? I mean, I won't throw Volkman in there because Volkman kind of like had like 3 games. So let's just leave him out of there. So Curran, Sifakula had 1 game,
I think he had 2.
Yeah, I think he had a couple. Could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, anyway, interchange. Whoever wants to go for it, just go for it. Just you know who our interchanges.
I'll start. I'll go MVP, Dylan Walker. Runner-up, Josh Curran. Dylan Walker was, in my opinion, he was pretty close to fucking getting picked for New South Wales. That's how good he was at number 14. So hard to beat that. And Josh Curran, I thought, there are some times that maybe he should have started instead of Jackson Ford. So when he did play, he was pretty good. I just think hopefully somehow, one way or another, he gets a bit more opportunity next year. I think he's got a lot of upside.
Yep, I'm with you. I'm with you, Damien. I totally agree. Can I just ask a quick question? Does anyone know when Josh is contracted till? I mean, I know, like you said, that it doesn't matter because they'll fuck off anyway. But
end of 25. I mean, I think you can basically. I don't think anyone's contracted to 26. I think majority. We've got a lot of players coming off contract end of next year.
End of next year as well. It looks like it too.
A shed load of players on end of contract, end of next year. We could have a whole new team.
Which is a good thing, because that's probably why we've signed these, these couple of new signings. But then come the end of 2025, we could see a whole new lineup, man.
But then we're going into rebuilding phase, so we're going to be hopefully getting in the top 8.
Oh, you go, Damien.
I think if we have another successful year next year, you'll probably find a lot of those players wanting to hang around.
And my bet is that they're doing it to say who wants to fight for their contract. So do you want to stay here? Show us what you got. That's what other competitions around the world do. They pull all their contracts up and play for it.
But I think, again, if the Warriors have another successful year, there'll be players wanting to play for the Warriors, as opposed to a few years ago where we had to pay over in order to get players playing for the Warriors. So if we have another successful year, then, I think a lot of those players would want to hang around. I think it'll be more like, can we get someone better than those players? That might change the dynamic. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I agree.
True there.
I'm going to jump in. Yep. Walker. What a signing. What an absolute signing. For that 14 jersey. And most improved, throw a spanner in the works. Sirenen, his run at the end of the season. I know beginning of the season, people were saying, why is this guy still in the team? But I think when he came on a few times, he really changed the game. Helped change the game anyway in the last few games. I wouldn't say I'm happy to see him go, but I'm glad that he's going. I'm glad that he's going. I think he's left on a high. I think he was quite pivotal to Webby's kind of plans, I suppose. Maybe Webby knew at the beginning of the season anyway that he's already signed, perhaps. But most improved for me. Mr. Everything, bit of a utility. So if CHT can be that utility next year, because Ciro was hooker, Ciro was 13. I think he played in the backs. Anywhere else in the backs? I can't remember. But we just kind of needed that utility on there, and he was pretty solid for me. So, yep, most improved was him.
I'll go next day. I'm the same. Dylan was the top of the pick of that lot. Dylan, Joshy, Bailey, and Jazz. 8.5. And I actually agree with you, Nick. My most improved was Bailey as well. Stayed during the COVID years, and that for me just talks about loyalty. Could have up and moved or whatever, but stuck it out with the team. I was sad to see him go. It's kind of like he for me became a bit of a Mr. Reliable, and on their bench. But definitely most improved. So our bench, my score for the bench was a B+ for the season as a whole.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think we've got one of the better benches in the comp, to be honest. Some of them are quite mediocre. But I think our bench is good.
That used to be us.
Yeah.
I reckon.
And what makes our bench is Dylan Walker, though, because he's that great utility that every bench needs. And I don't think a lot of benches in the comp have that player.
I never used to even like him. I thought he was a grub before he got here, because he was one of those lippy guys. Remember seeing him get a punch in the head for being a smartass and just like, yeah. But then he comes over, and he comes over to us. I just remember thinking, shaking my head, thinking, "Fuck, not this guy." But yeah, no, he's been mean as. He's been mean as for us all season. So, but yeah, good on him. Good on him.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard the story of why he ended up signing for the Warriors?
No.
No. So he's been selected for Māori All-Stars a few times now, and when you do that, you actually learn quite a bit about your whakapapa and whatnot like that. And because he's such a hardcore Mozzie, he had no real recollection of his Māori roots. So when the Warriors came a knocking, he thought, I want to give my sons what I lacked out, what I missed out on. And so he wanted to come home, bring his boys up in our country, and I thought that's a fucking cool story.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
cool. That's cool. That's nice. That's nice.
Yep. So yeah, I guess for my picks, it looks like I'm glitching out again. I'm not going to be any different to what's already been said, and I think throughout the whole season I've been showing my admiration for Dylan Walker, just because I think I caught up with Nick today, and I called him. He's like the not reverse Reece Walsh, but Reece Walsh, as great as a player as he is, he does a lot of errors that probably he has to kind of get rid of his game. I think, but he makes up for it with the X factor that he does have, and I think if not similar, I think Dylan Walker's that for us. He's like, I wouldn't say he's got hard out riddled errors, but he does a few things that probably, if he could get it out of his game, would be a lot better. But he does so much that he's so valuable to the team, and I definitely think he was MVP off the bench. I would say runner up for me is also Josh Curran. I think he was hard done by not to be getting that 11, but Ford did do his not just his role, but he did play well in terms of that role. So I can see why they kept him on the bench. And also Curran was good as a player coming off the bench. But in terms, I'm going to add a third one. I do think most improved was Bailey Sirenen. Personally, in my personal opinion, I think we could his spot, I guess, being left open is actually going to open up the opportunity for someone else to jump in there. I do think he played well. It doesn't really offer a lot, but in terms of what I saw from the start of the season to what he ended up at the end, definitely improved over that time. So yeah, that's my MVP, runner-up, and most improved for the interchange.
Nice.
Because at the end of the season, I was like, I think there was a couple of games there where the interchange was like taking forever. Like took a long time to make their best interchange. I actually found myself saying, "Oh, fuck's sake, can you just put Bailey Sirenen on?" I'd never said that at the, most of the way, but I found myself at the end of the season saying, "Oh man, can you just put Bailey on or fucking somebody?" Especially in the games that we weren't doing well in, like the Dolphins, the freaking But yeah, I agree. I think it was that game where Josh Curran did have to start. Remember when they put Ford on the bench? Started. I can't remember who
Dragons. That was Dragons.
But he made such a huge difference, man, on that side.
Yep.
Huge difference. So yeah, I agree. I think I'd like to, hopefully he ends. It's hard now because Jackson Ford's done so well, but still, I like Joshy. I think he's really valuable.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, so it begs the question next year, why would they change it up unless Ford gets injured or something? It'd be most obvious, but why would they change the Ford Marata Nukore combination?
Yeah.
Got no reason to really. So interchange, anyone else on the interchange? Suppose got to go team overall score, eh? Man.
I was gonna say, bro, sorry, just those and we have mentioned those names, but those honourable mentions.
Oh yeah.
Ed Kossi, Bunty, Ali, Tuolpiki, and Moni Volkman, Sifakula. I kind of those were the guys that they kind of had one or more games stepping up, for the top side.
Williami.
Yeah, they so those guys that were there, keeping the bench warm or coming on as starters, whatever. For the season overall, they got a B-.
Nice.
And it wasn't always easy, kind of coming in, especially that like that Dolphins game, that last game, and it really was a makeshift team, but those boys, they still stepped up. 2 debutants, and they still got stuck in. So for me, it was a B-. Yeah.
Nice. And nice of you to acknowledge those players too, Dion.
Oh, yeah. It's a team effort. Yeah.
And the whole team definitely stepped up this year, Fano. So those are our
hell
ratings for the for the whole thing. I'm just gonna say for me the team is a A. It's a A-. It should be an A+, but I never give 9s. I never give 10s, so it's an A. I don't know if it's an A or an A-, but it's still an A for the whole season. I mean, like, what a cracking season this has been.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah. No, I'm the same for the entire season, for the team, for what we've been through. Where they've come from was an A- because there's always room for improvement. And going into next year, hopefully it's not going to be the second year syndrome stuff. But again, whatever Webby's got up his sleeve, man, just hanging out to see what's going to happen.
Because they have to lift it, and they have to step it up a notch again next season. Otherwise, everyone's going to be saying, "Oh, we do it." It
was a fluke.
Kind of thing. So in order for them to gain that same respect and keep this momentum and going, they're going to have to take it another level.
Definitely,
100%. And it's going to be tough.
That's why I said I'm assuming that this preseason is going to probably be one of their hardest to, because I can't imagine Andrew Witts is going to take it easy on them. Not coming so close anyway.
No. Yeah, totally. Any final words, Fano?
I was just going to say, I agree with you all in terms of giving the boys or everyone an A this year. I think it was an exceptional year. And the only 2 teams were the ones that made the final. I would give it A+ if I had to be honest. So I think the Warriors did really well this year. And I think just within terms of next year, in terms of what needs to happen, I think it definitely, we want to see a level up to kind of take on those other teams because I think there's still a gap. But I think it's more just trying to, it's more of a, instead of doing more, it's trying to let go of a few things. That's kind of how I see it. I feel like they've got something, but the worst thing you can do is kind of take a step back and not focus on the fundamentals. And I feel like it's just a few things they just need to continue to do really, really well. And I think the game plan is actually, to be honest, there maybe with Roger and maybe CHT, they might actually be able to execute and take their next step in the game plan that Webby had. So I don't think it needs to be like, we need to do A, B, C, D to make drastic changes. It's just like, just go get those fundamentals right, and hopefully with a few additions, we'll and a good preseason, we'll see even greater year next year.
That's wonderful way to put it. So getting rid of some things,
And one for me is the transition stuff. Fuck, we got to get away from just kicking into the top corner. And if we used to do a Manu Vatuvai, I feel like Dalen's become that guy now. So if we can have different things on that transition play, there's one thing I would love to leave behind personally. But hey,
what do you mean? Change it up a bit? Like, don't be so like fucking predictable. Because it did get like that, and
Robotic.
And I just think that's why he scored 24 tries as well, because obviously well, no, and I don't mean that disrespectfully at all, but obviously if that winger is scoring all the tries, then obviously the play is going out to that side of the, is going out that way. And you want everyone on both sides to be scoring tries.
Well, I guess for me, if it's on you, you go back to
it's on.
You go to them. I think for me, it's like if we got lost, it felt like okay, just kick it to the corner again. And I also think, and maybe this was just Johnson kicking it a bit too far, but sometimes we'll kick it and there's just no contest. Now maybe they're trying to kick them in the corner, keep them there, but I felt like sometimes it just felt like anticlimactic. Like we've got them on the back foot. We might as well go up and contest it, and see what we can get out of it. Or alternatively, put the ball into that end goal and let's get the ball back. Get some more drop kicks out.
Even a few grubbers would be nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Chip and chase would be nice as well.
Yeah. Because I don't know how many grubbers we saw this season, but there was not many.
I think
there wasn't.
I think the ones that I remember resulted in tries.
Yeah.
It was to Curran and Bailey.
Yeah. Those were actually,
But I don't remember any other grubbers. Maybe there were some. What I would say though is,
a lot's got to change, and I think we'll see, in fact, like I said, we just don't know until, the 2024 season starts, and I can't wait for that. I just can't wait for that first team list to come out.
Can't wait for a couple of weeks when they go into preseason in November 1st.
Yeah. Are you do they train at Mount Smart? That's the training ground.
They'll train outside of there too, though, right? I mean, Bethel's Beach, whatever you want to call it, they used to train there quite a bit.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I think the trainings might be quite packed this year.
Yeah,
I reckon.
Try and get down there and have a jack, take some videos.
Let's go.
Bro, I was gonna say, just I mean, it's non-Warriors related, but good luck to Matonga on their Northern Hemisphere tour. The free test series against England. I hope they smoke the Poms.
Smash them. I hope they demolish them.
I hope they deal to them, bro.
1,000%.
Yeah. And just the opener for the Pacific Championship Cup of the Kangaroos and Tor Samoa. I hope Tor Samoa win it and win the opening game, but I hope Tor Samoa actually go all the way and win the bloody thing. Because that would just lift the profile in the Pacific, If an actual team from the one of the island teams, they're probably, to be fair, they're probably the only team that would have a potentially a chance of taking it out. Yeah, they'll be up against the Kiwis or the Kangaroos, but they're they showed it last year at the World Cup. They're they dropped at the last hurdle, but I like the Tor Samoa team. They got some really not just good players. They got some gun players, and they're coming together. So I mean, I'm always going to back the Kiwis, but for this particular competition, it'd be nice if Tor Samoa actually took it out. I'd be wrapped, bro. I'd be happy.
Yeah, I think we'll all be.
So I know this is the wrong code, like we don't do this code here, but did anyone hear or watch the Samoa game with England?
Ripped off.
I heard they just lost.
Did you hear what happened? So Samoa got awarded a try, right? They awarded the try, they kicked the conversion, and then the TMO scratched it.
After the conversion?
Are you kidding me?
After they converted the try, the TMO pulled it back and said, no, that wasn't a try.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
So
another reason why I don't watch that game.
You take
wow.
that like they were just
moly.
They were so my condolences to the Samoa.
My condolences to
Samoa.
Samoa on that one. Wow. I better go look that up.
Yeah.
What's the controversy?
Well, I want to come back to this whole rugby thing because there's one thing extra I would love us as Warriors fans potentially behind, but hey, if you want to keep it, it's okay. But to kind of go back to the Pacific Series, I just hope Aussie don't fucking win it. That's just my honest opinion. Kiwi, Samoa, good days,
Hard, bro.
But I think coming back to the Samoa and England, and then also the All Blacks game, I don't know if you guys managed to catch it. I happened to be up and it was on. I was like, fuck it, I'll watch it. Bro, they got 2 disallowed tries, and they had to go up to TMO, and they went to place like 3 sets back, and I was like, fuck. I hope personally after the forward pass that happened in the final in Broncos versus Warriors game, I just hope we don't overstretch and kind of add too much bunker ref technology into it. It's
I know
off
what
the
you
flow
mean.
of the game.
I know what you mean.
And if you want to know what it could turn into, is go watch rugby when they go back. You know, you just talk about the England Samoa game and everything else. They go back to 5 other plays in China, kind of rule it out. I think that's the worst thing for the game. So for me, as fans, I hope we can leave that forward pass behind, because at the same time, I don't want NRL to overstretch. And now we've fucking got a rugby. We're watching rugby instead of watching rugby league. So yeah, hope that ties it all together.
Well,
Perfectly. Perfect, bro.
Nice, bro. Nice.
They should just officiate the whole season like they officiated that fucking grand final game.
Oh, 100%.
Yep.
You know,
Let it flow.
You know,
Let it flow.
the majority of watching the game and not watching the guy with the whistle in his hand.
Yeah, you don't even like the best officiators. The best officials are the ones that you don't even realize are on the field. Doesn't matter what sport it is. They just you don't even know that they're there. So no, that was a good way of tying it all in.
Sorry, bro. I saw someone's comments on one of those Warriors pages about that the ref was almost as good as almost better than Bill Harrigan. It's like, well, that's a stretch, mate. Because I just love Bill Harrigan. I thought, the way he'd ref, NRL games, Winfield Cup games, Origin, internationals, he'd let shit flow. He was a bit of a golden boy, I suppose, but he knew and understood the game, and he just let the players get on with it. But when they said Andrew G was in that same kind of category, it's like, wow, really, bro? That's a stretch.
Settle down. Settle down. Settle down. Come on. He probably wrote that post himself.
Rick.
No, that was the review, Whānau. That was a review of this of our little kōrero tonight.
Nice.
Up next we got the Pacific Championship, so watch the space. We'll probably do a wrap up of that one. So as always, up the Wars, up the Warriors. Let's go Warriors. And
nice.
Awesome Whānau. We'll see you guys on the next one.
All right, go the fucking Warriors.
Go the fucking Warriors.
Up the Kiwis now. That sounds stupid.
Kiwis.
Check that one out.
No, sweet, bro. Okay,
Ka kite.
Ka kite.